Have you ever seen one of those sleek private jets slicing through the sky and wondered, who's flying that thing? Well, beyond the major airlines and the military, there's this whole other world of aviation, and it offers a really unique and dynamic career. Today, we're going to open the door to that world and find out exactly what it takes to become a corporate pilot.
So close your eyes for a second. When you think professional pilot, what's the first image that pops into your head? For most of us, right, it's someone in a super sharp uniform navigating a massive airliner, or maybe it's a fighter pilot pulling Gs. And that's a fair picture, but believe me, it is only part of the story.
The difference is pretty huge when you put them side by side. On one hand, you've got airline pilots. Their life is all about structure, predictability, set schedules, flying the same routes over and over. But corporate pilots, it's the complete opposite. They live an on-demand life flying wherever their clients need to go, pretty much whenever they need to be there. It's a whole different ballgame.
So, what is life really like in this other cockpit? Let's dive into the world of corporate aviation.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The job isn't just about your flying skills. It's about providing this incredibly high level of service. You're basically trading a rigid, predictable schedule for unparalleled freedom and the chance to see places most people only ever get to dream about.
To really get where these pilots work, you got to know the FAA's rulebook. They split everything into different parts. So, Part 121, that's your big airlines. Think American, Delta, United. Corporate pilots, they're usually flying under Part 135 for charter companies or Part 91 for a single company or a private owner. And the day-to-day feel is totally different. Part 91 can be like being a personal chauffeur for a family you get to know really well, while Part 135 is more like running a super high-end, on-demand air taxi service.
And this gets to the real reason these jets exist. For the companies and people who use them, these planes are strategic tools. They're basically time machines. Think about it. They let executives hit multiple cities in a single day, hold totally private meetings in the sky, and land at smaller airports that get them way closer to their final destination.
Okay, so let's say you're intrigued. How do you actually get into one of those cockpits? Let's break down the real, concrete steps and qualifications you're going to need.
Every single professional pilot starts out by climbing a similar ladder. First up, you get your private pilot certificate. Then you need an instrument rating so you can fly through the clouds. After that, the commercial rating, which is the one that lets you actually get paid to fly. For jets, a multi-engine rating is a must. And then comes the big one, building up your flight hours, what pilots just call time in more complex aircraft with turbine engines like jets or turboprops. But look, it's not just about ticking boxes on a checklist, it's about the feeling. Pilot Ariel Johnson described her first jet flight so perfectly. After all that work, all that training, the first time you're sitting in that quiet, powerful cockpit, banking through the clouds as the sun sets, you just know. And that's the feeling that drives you through the whole journey.
Now, let's talk about what might be the single biggest hurdle in a jet pilot's career, the type rating. See, it's not like your driver's license where you can just hop in any car. To fly a jet, you need a specific certification for each and every model, whether it's a Citation CJ or a Gulfstream G650. And getting one means weeks of intense full-motion simulator training.
And yeah, that training comes with a very serious price tag. We're talking anywhere from $20,000 to over $150,000 for a single type rating. It is a massive investment and is usually paid for by an employer, which is exactly why landing that first jet job is such a critical make or break step.
Okay, so you've got the ratings, you've got the expensive type rating, but the job is so much more than what happens up in the air. Let's get into the on-the-ground reality and all the non-flying stuff you'll be doing.
As veteran corporate pilot Kyle says, flying the plane is often just one piece of the puzzle. An airline pilot, they land the plane, do their paperwork, and hand it off to the next crew. But a corporate pilot's job, it extends way beyond the cockpit door.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you are the flight department. That means you're involved in scheduling, you're the main point of contact for the clients, you're arranging the catering, and sometimes that literally means running to the store yourself, and yep, you're even helping clean the aircraft. You have to be a multi-talented problem solver, for sure.
And this is exactly why networking and just your personality are everything in this business. You're in a tiny cockpit, often flying the same small group of people for hours on end. They have to like you, and more importantly, they have to trust you. Your attitude, your work ethic, your ability to just be a good team player. It's every bit as important as how well you can fly that plane. All right, now for the good stuff. With all that hard work and responsibility comes some pretty incredible rewards. Let's talk about the perks, the pay, and the unbelievable places this job can take you.
Let's go back to that time machine idea for a second. This is what it looks like in the real world. A recent study tracked a trip from Des Moines, Iowa to Chattanooga, Tennessee. On the airlines, it took over 8 hours. In a business jet, just over 4. You're cutting their travel time in half. That is the value you provide. You are literally giving people their time back.
So, what about the pay? Well, getting started, say as a first officer on a turboprop, you might be looking at a salary around $50,000 a year. It's really that first rung on the ladder for building that valuable turbine time we were talking about.
But as you build up that experience and you move into bigger, faster jets and major corporate flight departments, the earning potential gets significant. We're talking experienced captains making upwards of $300,000 and in some cases pushing close to $400,000 a year, and that's often with fantastic corporate benefits.
And the destinations, they're just on another level. We're not talking about your typical vacation spots. We're talking about flying to some of the most remote, most fascinating places on Earth, like Easter Island way off the coast of Chile, or landing in the Atacama Desert, one of the darkest, clearest places on the planet for stargazing.
You also get this incredible front row seat to the world's biggest events. One week, you might be flying into Monaco for the Grand Prix, and the next, you're on the ramp for the Super Bowl. You're not just a pilot. You become this key facilitator for these incredible, once-in-a-lifetime experiences.
So, we've covered the what, the how, and the why. Let's bring this all back home and connect it to you and what's happening in the aviation industry right now.
And here's maybe the most important part of this whole story, the timing. The entire industry is staring down a massive pilot shortage. It's being driven by this huge wave of mandatory retirements and a training pipeline that just can't keep up. The numbers say around 30,000 new pilots are needed in the next decade just to meet demand. The door of opportunity has never, ever been this wide open.
From the really tough training to the absolutely incredible rewards, the path of a corporate pilot is this unique blend of technical skill, high-end customer service, and pure adventure. It is a fantastic time to get into aviation, so the only real question left is, where will your flight plan take you?